Well, hello everyone and happy Easter. Hopefully you had a wonderful day. For me, I didn't have any clients, but guess what? Mama got some sleep. So I am, as promised, I'm going to be breaking down fractions, okay? We're going to be adding fractions. We're going to be multiplying fractions. We're going to be dividing fractions. And just basically getting those concepts. Because I know there's going to be times that you're probably saying, oh, Audrey, not a problem. I could just change that fraction to a decimal and then go ahead and combine. True. But there are times that you're going to need to have the exact answer. So when you have it as 2/7, you're not rounding. You're not taking the approximate of the solution. You're taking the exact answer. And then plus, there's going to be times when you need to simplify, and it's so much easier to simplify when it's in fraction form. So we are basically going to be facing our fears. Zaza! And that's what we're going to be doing. All right, so let's get started. So first off, we have 2/7 plus 4/3. Now, here's the main thing. We always want to have a common denominator, all right? This first fraction, the 2/7, that's called a proper fraction. So with the proper fraction, let me slide that over here. Proper fraction, that means your numerator is smaller than your denominator, okay? So you have 3 parts out of 5 spaces, okay? So that will be your whole. And the 4/3, that's called an improper fraction. So improper is when your numerator is larger than your denominator. So that means there is a whole of an object that's going to be within, and then some is going to be left off. So if I ever want to reduce that and change it to a mixed number, all we have to do is just take out the whole. In this case, it'll be 5 out of 5, okay? Because 5 divided by 5 will give me my 1 whole. And then what remains is going to be your 4/5. So if I wanted to change that improper fraction, I could do division. I could do 9 divided by 5 and get the same stuff. Or you can just basically get your 1 and 4/5. All right? So we're going to talk about mixed numbers in a second, when you have a whole number being multiplied or have a remainder of a proper fraction. So now, let's get back to the addition. Okay? So this is basically basic math. This is going to be for pre-algebra, algebra 1, arithmetic. It's for everything. Okay? Anytime you're dealing with any kind of fraction, you're going to be dealing with this. So now, denominator, 7 and 3. We need to have a common denominator every single solitary time. Okay, anytime you're adding or subtracting, take a look in between the two fractions, you want to get a common denominator. So they'll call it the LCD, sometimes they call it the LCM, and that's the least common denominator or least common divisor. Or if it's an M, the least common multiple. Okay? Basically, it's a number that the 7 times table and the 3 times table have in common. So if I look at my 7 times table, I got my 7, my 14, my 21, my 28, my 35. Okay, we'll stop right there. Boom, 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 boom. Then for the 3 times table, we have our 3, our 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. I think we could fit it all in here. 24. Okay. So now, I could keep going, but I want to know what will be the least common multiple that they both have in 7 and 3. Okay, so if I take a look, they both have 21. Oops. Okay, so they both have 21 in common. So what we need to do is we need to change those denominators to be 21. Okay, so now I got to think through multiplication. 7 times what will give me 21? Well, 7 times 3, because we just figured it out. But whatever happens in the denominator has to happen in that numerator. So if I have to multiply the denominator by 3, I got to multiply the numerator by 3. So now my new numerator is going to be 3 times 2, which gives me 6. So now for the other one, we need to change the 3 to a 21 through multiplication. So that means I need to multiply it by 7. Whatever I do in the denominator, I have to do in the numerator. So 4 times 7, 28. Okay, good. Yes, thank you, Brianna. Awesome. So now that we have a common denominator, we're going to keep that denominator. This is where a lot of people usually throw it off the rails. Okay, you do such an awesome job to figure out what the denominator is, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, well, I have to add the numerator and add the denominators. No, the denominator is going to stay the same. But yes, you do have to add the numerators. So I have my 28 plus 6. Okay. I just got a little warning. So my 28 plus 6, I don't know what I said, but I must have said something. I was like, numerator, denominator, is that what went off the rails? So we have a total of 34, right? So we have 34 21sts, okay? All right. So I know there are some teachers that are like, I don't like mixed or improper fractions. I'd rather have a mixed number. Fine. Okay? The way that you can exchange that and put it as a mixed number, all you have to do is divide. So you kind of have to think, all right, just like I showed for the example over here. I know I have a whole number. So whatever my denominator is, put it in your numerator and denominator and subtract. Okay? And what remains is going to be your remainder proper fraction. So you can do it that way, or you can divide 34 and 21. So what you will do is if you divide 34 and 21, you're going to see how many 21s can go into 34. Well, there's 1. So now we got to take that 34 minus that 21 to see how much left over. And what's left over will be 13. But it's still going to remain out of 21. That's still going to be my denominator. So if we don't like the improper fraction and you want to make it into a mixed number, you pull the 1 out, so that could be minus 21 over 21. You could do that. And then you subtract the 34 and the 21 to get your 13. And you put it over the denominator that you found, which was the 21. All right? Okay? All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for the follows. Yes? Yes, Jonah, how are you? Okay, good job, Brianna. Lovely. Hello, Grace. 2 scoops of chocolate. I see you in there, girl. Hey, Jackie. How are you? Welcome in. Ellis, welcome in. And yay! Mi gente. How are you? Did you get a notification this time? All right. Awesome. Okay, and there's Michael R. Life is good. All right, so you used to know this stuff. Guess what? It's still in there. It didn't disappear. Krebs, it did not disappear. It's still there, darling. It's still there. All right, so now let's take a look at the next one. Okay, yay. I know, sometimes it just takes TikTok a little bit. That's our next one. Okay, yay. I know, sometimes it just takes TikTok a little bit. That's all right. So now, let's take a look. We have 7/12 minus 3/8. All right, so now we got to figure out what number of the 12s and of the 8 times table will work for us, which is going to be the least common divisor. Okay. Oh, happy Easter, Janice. Okay. So here's my thing. The 1296, that can work. However, it needs to be reduced. What will be the easiest one? Okay. I have James saying 32. And then I have 24 with Mike. Hey, Pog. 24. I was waiting patiently watching basketball. Aw, waiting for me. Look at you. Yeah, I was watching 90 Day Fiance. The one time I haven't, this is what happens when you have a day off. It's almost like when you were at school and it was a snow day, and that's the only time you got to watch Maury Povich or Maury or Jerry Springer. Yeah, that's what it kind of reminded me of. So with the 12 and the 8, we think about our 12 times table. So we have 12, we have 24, 3 is what, 36. Okay, I'm going to stop there. For the 8s, you have 8, you have 16, you have 24, and I can keep going. Now, 24 is going to be the best bet. It's the lowest one, because then I won't have to do so much simplifying later on. So if I need to make, and I'm still going to be subtracting. So this is a 24, and this is a 24. So to make this 12 into a 24, I need to multiply it by 2. And whatever I do in the denominator, I have to do in the numerator. So my new numerator is going to be 14. Okay, there we go. Now, for the 8, we had to multiply this by 3. Whatever I do in the denominator, I can do in the numerator. So 3 times 3, that gives me 9. All right? So we have, for the tease test, a lot of the algebra parts I usually do for the tease test. So now we have to simplify, okay? Hey, Doodle. Keeping the 24. Okay, a lot of us want to add, or a lot of us say, oh, it's 24 minus 24. No, okay? You're keeping the denominators, but you're subtracting the numerators. So now 14 minus 9, that'll give me 5. And since 5 is an odd number, 24 is an even number, that's the lowest term. And it is a proper fraction. So we don't have to do any pulling out the ones. Good. Hey, how are you, film artist? Good. So glad you're here. All right. So a lot of Ball Babe, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is going to be on the tease test. So, and if you ever need to look at some of my old lives, you can go to my YouTube channel. Let me see if I can unzoom. If I was smart, I would probably just type it in. Let me be smart for once. So if you go to my YouTube channel, YouTube, It's under my name, and then you got your ACG math tutoring. Okay, so I just put it in the comments somewhere. So if you want, you can look at some of the concepts that I have there, and that might be able to help out a little bit. Okay. Studying for my T's. Good. All right. Why not do 16 for the denominator? Well, we're looking at 12 and 8. 16 is not a multiple of 12. It works for the 8, but not for the 12. Okay. You okay, Ronnie? See it now? Okay. Oh, hey, AP. Okay, in June, my math was downfall. Oh, okay. Okay, no worries. All right. Well, hello. Is that Jeannie or Jan? Or do you have videos to help with that? Well, what kind of statistics? Is it AP statistics or is it basic probability? Because if it's to basic, I have some on there, but not a lot. All right. Yeah, because if it's AP statistics, no. All right. Well, I'm going to ignore this part. I think that's why I stopped, because I wanted to see how much room I was really going to need. So let me get with the examples right here. All right. So let's work with another one. So we have, we already did those. We have 2/3 plus 3/4. 2/3 plus 3/4. Yeah, AP, no, I don't have anything on AP. Now, if you need a tutor, Nori, I have a guy. His name is Robert Treves. He's amazing on AP statistics and AP calculus, AB or BC. So just let me know if you're serious about it. Go ahead and message me and I'll hook you guys up. You could have done 96. So faceless, yes, you could have done 96 and just simplified. Yes. But this is one thing that you'll learn about me. I'm lazy. And if there's any opportunity for me not to simplify, I'm going to do it. Okay, yes, definitely. Can we do rounding? Today is just fractions. All day, every day, fractions. Okay? All right. Intermediate college algebra. Yes, that's what I do. Shaylin, I do that all day, every day. Now, 2/3 plus 3/4. What is my common denominator? What will be my common denominator? Do I frown on those who use calculators? Sweet cheeks. What is this? Please. No, I do not. I think a calculator is a resource. Now, would it be helpful for you to at least understand and know your basic multiplications up to the 12 times tables? Yes, it will be good. Okay, because multiplication is nothing but fast addition. Okay, that's all it is. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not like, ugh. Yes, look at it. 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. Austin. 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. Awesome. Alicia Johnson. Good. Excellent. Math teacher here. Hey, Anthony. You're like, hey, come on, real math teacher, should know the calculations. Yeah, but I just feel like we got resources. As long as you understand the basics, let's go. Because if you don't know what to put together, you're not going to know it. It's okay. When can we do rounding, please? Not for a while. Because right now I'm trying to get everyone with everything else. So I'll see if I can squeeze it in, but not convincing. Top is 8. Top is 8? I think. All right. So if we multiply to change this 3 to a 12, we need to multiply it by 4. So whatever you do in the denominator, you need to do in your numerator. So just like Anthony said, 4 times 2, which I love how he says the top is 8. Math teacher, the numerator. It's okay. All right. So now, what do we got to multiply on the other side for this 4 to change to a 12? Good. Dragonfly, good job. Okay, oscents or oscents? Okay, good. Yep, I saw you, Anthony. So if we multiply both sides of the numerator and the denominator by 3, we get our 9. Now this is the part we want to keep that denominator, which is going to be 12. All right. You're adding the numerators, which gives me what? Okay, so Anthony says it's 17 over 12. Do we agree? And Miss A says 17 over 12. What is this live? I'm in someone else's class right now. What is this live? Well, my name is Audrey. Pleasure to meet you. Okay, I'm a former math teacher, and now I'm an online math tutor. So I've been helping, good job, guys, helping a lot of people with their math skills, trying to raise them up a little bit, build up some confidence. Maybe some people that haven't seen math in a while and they're currently taking a math class and they just need some encouragement. All right? Hello. So that's all I do, you know? Oh, well, thank you. Kind of like a little old English. Yes. So, like, you know, everyone doesn't learn exactly the same. Okay? So, here we go. We got an improper fraction. I know some of you guys like, take it out the improper fraction. It's okay. So that means we have a denominator of 12. So we want to pull that one whole out. So that will be 12 over 12. Okay, so that's my one whole. Now, 17 minus 12, that will give us 5 twelfths. So to make this as a mixed number, we have 1 and 5 twelfths. Okay, how are we feeling? All right, Dragonfly experiences with me. Nostalgic from this live. Good. Coming back. How did you get the 17 twelfths? All right, Shay. So we needed a common denominator with the 3 and the 4. So the number they both have in common, we're going to use 12. Yes, we could have probably used 24, but 12 was the closest one, right? So to change that 3 to a 12, we had to multiply it by 4. Whatever we do in the denominator, we do in the numerator. So 4 times 2 gives us our 8. Now we're going to go to the other ratio. So 4 times 3, that's how we're going to get our 12. Whatever you do in the denominator, you have to do in the numerator. So 3 times 3 gives us 9. So we keep the denominator, okay? So even though we're adding the numerators, but we're keeping the denominator, which is 12. And then 8 plus 9 gives me 17. Okay. Are you all right, Shay? You see it now? Okay. Thank you for the... Okay, good. Now, how did I get the 1 and 5 twelfths? Not a problem. So, 17 twelfths is an improper fraction. The numerator is larger than the denominator. So I know that there is one whole that's within this 17 twelfths. Since my denominator is 12, I'm going to pull that whole out. Whole, not hoe. Whole out. So that will be 12 divided by 12. Because 12 divided by 12 will give me one whole. Will give me 1. So that's the one that's right here. So now I can subtract what's left over. So I have 17 minus 12. That will give me 5. So what's left over, aka my remainder, if I divide it, will be 5 over my divisor, which is 12. Okay. Yep. Do I teach PEMDAS? Sports gambling? It's tough to say, Sir Bob. The reason why... Okay, good. Do you teach PEMDAS? I do. But today is all about fractions. We do that with every improper fraction. For the most part, yes. Because I know there's some teachers that will be like, no, change it. Do not put an improper fraction as your answer. Some people are like, you can leave it. So if they do ask for it, you can go ahead and change that way. Okay. Do I ever teach probability with sports gambling? It's a mixture because I know there's a lot of students based off of religion and based off of culture that they normally don't do gambling. So it's always, sometimes I feel like I'm being the devil by showing them what is a card and all that stuff. But I try to respect that as much as I can. Okay. So I'll also ask them, like, how do you normally count? And we'll usually figure out a way that I can use as a group example. Do I know someone who does tutoring? I do. What kind of tutoring? Does that work with all improper fractions? Yes, it does. Okay. W, how would you turn a decimal into an improper fraction? So, depending on the decimal. So, like if you had, I know this is going to be really premature, but if I had like 3.25. Okay, I already got my one whole. But this 0.25, that's 25 hundredths. Okay, remember, after the decimal point, there's no such thing as once. You have your tenths and you have your hundredths. So that means you will have 25 out of 100. Now, 25 hundredths can be reduced. So 25 hundredths, that is going to be 1 out of 4. So you'll have your 3 and 1/4. So that's how you go from a decimal to a fraction. Oops, sorry. I'm going to be in the way for a second. Okay. All right. So I think we get the adding and subtracting. Okay. I hope we get the adding and subtracting. Not a problem. Okay. Dosage calculations. I got you. What's her name? This is the person that you should follow for dosage calculations. A blessed RN. All right. Follow her. I'm not sure if she's going to be on tonight, but definitely she goes on, I want to say like twice a day. Okay, so if you want, and the way that she breaks down dosage is basically off of proportions, but she makes it so you're not memorizing full-blown calculations. Okay, so definitely follow her. If you guys are going into nursing and you want someone to help you with dosage calculations, go to a blessed RN. If you are, might as well do this now. If you are looking for a chemistry teacher, Professor TK is pretty cool. If you want more for your T's, your ASVET, your GED, although I do it, but there may be times that you might need something during the day. Make sure you go to Miss Taylor from Impact Math 19. Make sure you follow her as well. Okay. I tried to connect myself with some awesome people. Oh, Star, you will be. You are. You just have to take your time with it, okay? So definitely check out A Blessed RN, Impact Math 19, and Professor TK. And if you want to learn how to do math using the abacus, my friend Lynette is amazing. She is basically mainstreaming this bitch real quick. She's amazing. More for a screenshot? For the problems or for the screenshot of this? What would you like a screenshot of? Hold on, let me see if I could do it like this. Yeah, definitely meet up with these people. Okay. All right, I'm going to take it off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, moving on. All right. It'll come back later too. All right. So now let's get with some multiplying. Okay, let's do some multiplying. Because we can get the addition, we can get the subtraction. The key thing is you have to have a common denominator. Now, when we're doing multiplication, let me put it down here. So let's say that we have 6/7 times, and I'm not using the x. X doesn't mean multiplication anymore. We need to stop using it. That's supposed to be 6/8. Sorry. 6/8 over 1/6. We can do this one easily. And then the other one is going to be 11/4 and 2/3. And I'm going to show this one of two ways. All right. So for the first one, that's supposed to be an 8. So sorry. So 6/8 times 1/6. You can do this one of two ways. Space Cadet, how are you? Okay? You can do this one of two ways. You could multiply numerator with numerator and denominator with denominator. Now, when you're multiplying, you do not have to have a common denominator. Common denominator is only for adding and subtracting. So if you look in between these two ratios, that's also another name for fractions, and you don't see a plus or a minus, that means it's multiplication. Okay? Yes. Not cross multiply, bestie. Hi, good to see you. Cross simplify. Okay? Ooh, what is this? I'm doing okay. All right. So we can do this one of two ways. And I'm going to try to put it in different colors as best I can so you can see the different ways. All right. So one way, I'm just going to put it as way number 1. We could multiply straight across. So that means 6 times 1 will give me 6. Over 8 times 6, which gives me 48. And once I do the multiplication straight across, then I can simplify. Now, what number does 6 and 48 have in common? It is 6. So if I divide that first one by 6 and divide the second by 6, I will get 1 over 8. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. Multiply, then simplify. Another way of doing it, so this will be way number 2. Another way of doing it is I could simplify my ratio. So 6 and 8, they both have 2 in common. So if I have my 6 over my 8, I could reduce it by 2. which that will give me 3/4. Then I can take that 3/4 and multiply it by the 1/6, then reduce. Still gives me that answer of 1/8. Okay? Now, here's another way. I know, so many ways. But you want to pick the way that suits you. I'm sorry. I know there's going to be some teachers. Sorry there, Anthony. But I know for a fact that there's going to be some teachers that are like, I want you to do it this way. Okay? I can't control that. If they say you want to do it that particular way, you got to do it that particular way. That's where it gets kind of crazy. All right? But, right, see how versatile this can be? I think someone said something earlier. Hold on. Okay, and that's my last one, is the cross. Not cross multiplication, cross simplification. So I have 6/8 times my 1/6. If I look, the 6 at the numerator, 6 at the denominator, they're exactly the same. They can cancel out. And then what's left is my 1/8. Okay? Notice, no matter which way you do it, you're going to get the same answer. Okay? It's not always simplified. Okay. Do cross. Okay. So you can cross simplify. Yes. So even if you get your 3/24, you can reduce it a little bit further to the 1/8. All right, wait, 6 on top and 6 on the bottom cancel. Yep. We get versatile math is. Yep. Thank you for my handwriting. How did you get 6? For example, okay. So I look at multiples as 6 times tables and the 48s. Okay. So I know 6 and 48, 6 is what they have in common. Okay. Or how did I get this 6 originally? I multiplied 6 times 1 and then multiplied 8 times 6. That's how I got the 6 48s. And then when I wanted to reduce this, yes, you can reduce by 2, but 6 is a better one because then I'll have 6 divided by 6 gives me 1, and 48 divided by 6 gives me 8. Okay. Derek, did that help? Screenshot it. Okay. Don't cancel out. You get 1. Yep. But anything times 1 is itself. Yep, anything times 1 is itself. Sometimes it's just easier just to get right to it. All right, good. I would say, when do they work on fractions? I want to say 4th or 5th grade. They've amped it up so much, and I don't know about in your state, but in our state, they're thinking about speeding up even further. So if you think you have students or maybe yourself think it's kind of crazy now, wait until next year if the proposal comes through if you live in Maryland. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Do I tutor for upcoming 9th graders? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. All right. So, next one. 11/4. I know, improper fraction. Okay. But 11/4 times 2/3. What would you get for an answer? 11/4 times 2/3. Yes. Yeah, so just go to the link in my bio, go to my ACG Math Tutoring, and just fill in the contact form. Okay. Okay. Yeah. AI is coming strong. Yeah. Okay, so I got 11.6. Oh, Moody Nightfly. Hello. We got 11.6. We cross simplified. Okay, 22 twelfths, 11.6. So 22 twelfths can be reduced. So you guys are right on target. So 11.6. Good. Attending math and science, high school next year. Yes, definitely. All right. So I taught you like 3 different ways, right? Uno, dos, and tres. Again, I'm not gonna lie, I'm lazy. I'm always looking to see what if I can simplify. And I notice I have a 2 in the numerator over here, and I have a 4 in the denominator right there. So I'm like, 2 and 4s. They're both multiples of 2. So 2 divided by 2 will give me a 1. And 4 divided by 2, 4 divided by 2 will give me 2. So after I simplify, then I multiply straight across. 11 times 1 gives me 11. And 2 times 3 gives me 6. So we have 11.6. So remember, if it's an improper, let's pull that whole number out. The key is take a look at the denominator. That will tell you what you should be subtracting in the numerator and in the denominator. Because 6 divided by 6 will give me my 1 whole. So now I just need 11 minus 6, which gives me 5. But you keep the denominator. So we got 1 and 5/6. Okay? So you could have left it as an improper fraction, which is 11/6. But the one thing I want you to get used to, it's a fraction. If you just divide, I forgot who my calculator posse is. If I just divide like 11 divided by 6, I'm going to get this lovely decimal, okay, with the repeating 3's. If I just say my answer is 1.83 or 1.83 hundredths, all these other 3's are being ignored. It's like you're friend zoning all those 3's. You're like, we can get together, but not really get together, right? So you're just like, oh, all the guys are all the same, or all the girls are all the same. No, we're all different, all right? So we can't ignore all those. By keeping it as a fraction or as a mixed number, you're keeping its value. So if they ever ask, give us the exact value, keep it as a fraction, okay? I feel like Michael Jackson right there, like keeping in the closet. But you know what I'm saying. All right? All right. Friend zoned again, yes. Poor 3. Okay. All right, no problem. I'll be here for a bit. Not friend zoning. Yes, we all do it. All right. So let's try another one. What would you do? Devil's advocate right here, being a little sneaky. What would you do if you had this? If you had 3/8 times 5 1/3. Ooh, she's being crazy. What would we do? Yeah, I'll do the screenshot at the end. So instead of you having 60,000,002 screenshots, like before I go to the next page, I'll just give you some time to screenshot. Okay? Gotta save that space on your phone. All right, you're welcome. All right, so how would we tackle this? Looks messy. And if you don't know, go ahead and put a question mark. Okay. Sapag saying change to improper. Ooh, okay. Okay. Thank you, Shay, for being honest. Robert R. saying convert mixed number to fraction. Doodle Daniel saying make the fraction improper and multiply the numerators. Okay. It is messy. Okay. Someone's giving an answer of 2. The answer is 2. Should be. Okay. All right. So now, for those that are not really in the know, we're going to take it step by step. Okay. For those that do know, just work with me, people. So you're correct. Let's change this improper fraction, or this mixed number, into an improper fraction. Now, some of you guys, it's been probably many moons since you have done that. So this is what we're going to do. You take your denominator and you multiply it with, I'm using the dot because I don't want to use the x. You take the denominator and multiply it with the whole number. You're going to get an answer, which is 15. You're going to take that answer of 15 and add it to the numerator, which is 1. So 15 plus 1 will give us 16. But the denominator stays the same. It's still a 3. Okay, so let me walk you through it again. Denominator times the whole number. You get an answer. Then you add that answer to the numerator. That's going to be your new numerator. And then you keep the denominator. All right. The other fraction, just like my life, just comes on down. All right. There we go. Good. Now, questions on how we went from a mixed number to an improper fraction. Okay. Thank you so much for the follows and the likes. Love it. All right. What do you notice? So I got a couple people with the 2s as an answer. They think it is. Some people got distributive property. We got a few follows. What do you notice about these two ratios, aka fractions? What do we know about these two? What do you see? Okay. So we got some cross simplifies. Oh, thank you for the gifts. We got some cross simplifies. The 3s. Good, Sarah. All right. We can cancel out those 3s. Right. So by looking at that, let me... where's my purple? Here we go. So looking here, we have the 3s. 1 in the numerator, 1 in the denominator, which will give me 1, but anything times 1 is itself. So what remains is your 16 over 8. And 16 divided by 8 gives me a rightful 2. Okay, so all my peoples that said 2, good job. Yes, Cheryl, good. The 3s. Okay, how are we feeling about this? Okay, show me, tap on the screen. That's an easy one. Yes. Well, I'm glad that you're saying that's an easy one. Okay, believe it or not, a lot of people will lose points on a problem like this because they saw the mixed number and they're like, nope. You know, I wasn't always this math genius as you guys love to call me. I used to suck at math. Ugh, terrible. Absolutely terrible. I would see fractions like this. Nope. Word problems. Nope. Not doing any of that. Yep, I wouldn't do any of that whatsoever. Totally reject it. Okay. But knowing, yes, for a 6-year-old, good job, Cheryl. If not better. Good, Michael. Good. I know. Word problems, I know. It's crazy. I love it when people give people where English is the second language word problems. Are you joking me? And then you're talking things like guy wires and, what? The defibrillator? Like, seriously? Like, you don't freaking know what a defibrillator is. What's going on? All right. Okay, so while I'm getting ourselves ready for the next one, homeschool and my son struggles with algebra. Okay, yeah, definitely. How'd you overcome? Lots of practice. Lots of practice. Lots of praying. Yeah, lots of practice and lots of prayer. And I really didn't overcome fractions until I was working as a special ed instructional assistant. I think they call paraeducators now. And this teacher, she was like, guys, fractions is nothing but division. I was a rightful age of 25. When she said that, I was like, wait, what? And then I started doing division. I was like, oh my gosh. I was 25, guys. 25. That's like insane. But that's when paraprofessionals now. Okay. Yeah, so it's just crazy. Oh, good. Algebra in 7th grade and needs tutoring. That was so, yes. Yours I did and doing my GED and didn't pass my test just for 1 point. Ooh, cookie. But I'm going to tell you, probably that 1 point, I bet you cold hard cash. It was because of either graphing linear equations or any kind of like algebraic, like graphing linear equations, doing a system of equations, quadratics or factoring. Because a lot of people keep thinking that when you do the GED, all the questions are the same value. They're not. They're not. So like anything that deals with, let me see. I don't think it's in this book because I have so many books now. It's getting crazy around here. So anything dealing with this stuff, like finding the vertex form of quadratics, or anything dealing with graphing linear inequalities, or graphing equation of a line, or what else? Maybe even trig. That would be a 4-point question. Doing the substitution for function notation and maybe graphing it. This will be more like a 3-point question if you have to do the substitution, but anything dealing with the graphing, that's a 4-point question. If you can do well on those and still be able to get like partial of the arithmetic, you're going to pass. Seriously, you're going to pass. Oh, thanks, Pa. Yes, trig. Now, trig is not too bad. You just need to take your time. Okay, when you get into graphing and quadratics, when you're doing true algebra. Hold on. I think I missed the whole conversation. Okay. So with 20, I get confused when it's time to reduce. I'm super old, so it's like I'm relearning everything. That's okay, Shay. Let it go. Let it go. You're not old. The fact that you're here and you want to learn and you want to experience it, that speaks volumes. So stop. We're done with that downplaying thing. She's testing algebra, maybe should have waited. That's okay. I mean, I really feel that anyone that's going to be testing, no problem. Anything that's going to deal with any kind of testing, you should take it. I always feel that you should take any of these standardized tests once, just so you have your own personal baseline. Because a lot of times that's where the anxiety comes from. You don't know how other people test. So since you have no idea how they test, you're basically guessing. And you're like, I don't know how to guess all this stuff. So it gets crazy, okay? So any of the SATs, ACTs, you got to remember, Don't let that test dictate who you are. Okay? Stop it. It's not who you are. Because most of the time you're going to pass it, or you're going to do something. You're going to have to take a couple classes. You might have to take a class as a division sign. You might have to take a class to get yourself prepared before you can take pre-calculus. Then take the test, take the exams. It's fine. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to do it, as long as you're trying to do it. And the one thing about schools, it gets tough because the curriculum is faster. After the pandemic, all curriculums sped up. No one did any kind of preliminary stuff to get them ready. They started right exactly where we left off. If you haven't figured that out yet, you're welcome. Just told you. All right. So I got people with some answers. I got some 514s, 514, 514, 514 burger with fries. He's probably like, stop talking and look at my answer. Okay, times 1/2. Yes. So the key thing, when you have a fraction and you have division, okay, you do not, I'm going to put it like this, and I'm hopefully not to see it like this ever again. You are not doing this. You're not stacking it up, okay? This is not a seafood tower. We're not doing that, okay? All right, because it gets confusing. And if you put it in your calculator, make sure you put parentheses around the 5/7. If not, your calculator is going to divide, and it's not going to consider the 5/7. It's all kinds of wacky patacky. All right, so you want to keep, and I like to keep it this way. Keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep the 5/7. We're going to change that division to multiplication. And we're going to flip this 2. Because anytime you see a whole number, it's really over 1. It doesn't change the value. All you did was change the whole number to a fraction. Because 2 divided by 1 will still give me the value of 2. But when you flip it, that means the 1's going to be in the numerator and the 2's going to be in the denominator. So now we have fraction. Multiply straight across because I look on the diagonals. I don't see any like terms that I can simplify. So that means I just multiply straight across, which gives me my 5. And 7 times 2 gives me my 14. Okay, so that's where everyone's getting the 5/14 from. Right? Oh my gosh, 90 Day Fiance stuff. Craziness. Yeah, it could be KFC, but I was thinking I really need to flip this. So I think I went KCF, Michael. I know. Plus, I didn't want you to think about chicken. Last time you're like, I'm hungry. All right. It's starting to come back. There you go, James. I told you it's there. It's there. It's all there. Okay. I don't know what type of teachers you had, but last time I checked, I'm probably like the craziest person that you've ever met trying to teach you math. All right. So we'll see that. All right. So let's try maybe a couple more. So I'm going to leave this up to you. So let's do okay, 2/5 divided by 8/3. Oops, forgot about the division bar. Ooh, that 2 is horrible. So sorry. You can tell the handwriting is going. That's how things can. Do I do 8th grade math? I do. I do. And if not me, I know plenty of other tutors that do as well. So, and a lot of this is practically 8th grade math. Okay. So it's basically that. It's giving me 16/15. Cookie's giving me 6/40. Simplify more mixed numbers. Okay. I could simplify some more mixed numbers. We got 3/20, 3/20, 3/20, 3/20. I got a 1/5, 3/20, 3/20, 1 1/15. I know. 8th grade math is a battle in its own. Considering 8th grade math today used to be 10th grade math years ago. If you think I'm lying, look it up. Everything is sped up. Everything is sped up. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm seeing a lot of 3/20. Okay. All right. So we have 2/5. So we're going to keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep this first fraction. That gives me my 2/5. We're going to change division to multiplication. I got my dot. And then we're going to flip this second fraction. So that's going to be 3/8. If you notice, right here on the cross, no pun intended for Easter, we have 2 and 8. 2 and 8 can be reduced. Okay, definitely can be reduced by 2. Okay, we reduce it by 2. 2 divided by 2 will give me 1. 8 divided by 2 will give me 4. So now that we simplified, let's multiply straight across. 1 times 3 will give me 3. And 5 times 4 will give me 20. So it'll be 3/20. All right. Multiply. There you go. Good. All right. Nice. So we're talking about, all right, this one I'm going to make up because I have no idea what's going to come out of this. So if we do, let me see if I can do some mixed numbers in here. Let's say 6 and 2/5. 6 and 2/5. I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but let's play devil's advocate here. Let's see what happens. 2 and 2/5. Okay, this will be our challenge. Hell, I'll even work it with you because I have no idea what's going to become out of this one. So let's see. Oops, let me turn it this way. So 6 and 2/5 divided by 2 and 2/5. Jazz is saying, Jazz, are you officially saying 32? Oh, okay. 32 fifths and divided by 12 fifths. All right. Okay, see if you can reduce it. See if you can reduce it. Okay, Pog's got 32 twelfths. Now both of them are even, so that means it could be reduced. And Jonathan's saying 8/3. Okay, King Aries is saying 2 2/3. Jazz is saying 8/4. Oh no, 8/3. Okay, any other answers? The second fraction doesn't flip. No, the second fraction does flip. Okay, 16/6. Still can reduce some more. Hey, Lynette. 400 people in the room. Oh, geez. Didn't know that. I'm just focusing so much on that. Hey, thanks. Seriously, I didn't know it was that many people in here. I know there was people in here. Good. 8/3, 8/3, 8/3. Don't be nervous. Nah, it's math. Yes. Say hi to Lynette, guys. I mentioned her earlier today. And she's always the one that's reminding me. Between you and Pog are always the ones reminding me to tap. Do you KCF before making them improper fraction? I would KCF first and see if you can simplify. That's what I would do first, faceless. All right. All right. So let's see. So remember, mixed number. So we have the denominator times the whole number, which gives me 30, plus the numerator, which gives me 2. So that will be 32 over 5. Okay. Divided by, change this mixed number to a whole. So 2 times 5, that gives me 10. Plus 2 will give me 12 over 5. Okay. So how would you flip it if it's not improper? What do you mean? If it's not improper? Well, if it wasn't improper, one, we couldn't keep it as a mixed number. You have to make it improper in order for it to flip. Okay. Jazz? So yeah, I would do the keep, change, flip for both of them. Now I'm going, like I make them improper fractions, sorry, and then I do my keep, change, flip. So it'll be 32 over 5 times 5 over 12. Yeah, I would definitely do keep, change, flip. And then see. Well, make them improper, then do keep, change, flip to see if you have anything to simplify. In this case, we do. Then we have our 32 twelfths. So since both of them are even, it could be reduced. Which, if I reduce it by 4, I got my 8/3. Now, since it's improper, if we want to make it into the official mix, you can. All right. I look in here, I could take out 3, but if I do 3 over 3, I'm going to have 5 over 3, which gives me another improper. So why don't I take out 2? In order for me to take out 2, that's going to be 6 over 3. Because 6 divided by 3 gives me 2. So if I do 6/3, now I got 2/3 remaining. So it'll be 2 and 2/3. So either this is my answer or the 8/3 is my answer. Okay, improper or mixed number. Okay. So if you got 160 divided by 60, let me see if I can put this in a different color. I'll just use pencil. So if you wanted to do 160 divided by 60, first off, I can cancel out my zeros. So that would give me 16 over 6. So how many 6s can go into 16? 2, which is 12. And then that will give me 4/3. 4/6. But 4/6 can be reduced. If I reduce it by 2, that will give me my 2 and 2/3. Okay, so you could do it that way. How did I get 6/3? Well, if I'm going to take 2 wholes, because if I just take, let me put it up here. If I just said 8/3 and I took out a 1, which is 3 over 3, I'm going to get 5 over 3. So that's telling me I got another 1 that's involved in this because it's still an improper fraction. So if I subtract 3 over 3, I will get my 2/3, which is a proper fraction. So that means I took out 2 whole numbers. So in order for me to do that, if I have the same denominator, 3 plus 3 will give me 6. So 6/3 is equivalent to 2. Okay. Keep the mind sharp. Yes. Do I help with inequalities? Yes. What do you need help with? One more thanks. Yeah, not a problem, James. Not a problem. So again, if you guys want to, you can definitely, sorry, I'm like in the way. Okay, make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, Audrey Codner, ACG Math Tutoring. All right, most of my lives are going to be on there. I even have it labeled as TikTok Lives. I know, so deep. So we have all of that, as well as if you guys feel so inclined, if you can do a Google review, because this is one of the ways that people actually find me for their tutoring services, as well as here on TikTok. So if you know of anyone that's thinking about getting a GED or an AccuPlacer, or they want to go to a community college, so that'll be like the AccuPlacer, or they want the ASVAT, or they just need help with basic math in general, just let me know. Math and algebra, definitely, just let me know. But as I said before, here's a couple people that if you want to have someone that's going to help you with the dosage, make sure you see a blessed RN. Another person will be teased for the ASVAT, the GED math. You could also see Miss Taylor or Impact Math 19. I know she'll be on tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're on the East Coast, it'll be 2 o'clock. And then for chemistry, you can have Professor TK. And then Lynette, who is also here. You can do your learning with Lynette. Now, so if you actually like the book that I have, I actually created these pages. Okay, I created this book. Hi, Math Notebook. All right, it is live in effect on Amazon. It was just a way, because here's my selfish reason of creating this book. I got tired of seeing my tutoring students not have notes. They have packets. They always come in with like packets and packets and packets of papers, but they never look at their packets. They never look at their notes. So forcing them to basically write things down, and plus in an organized way. So now they got formulas here. They got their steps. Some of them, like say this for parallel and perpendicular lines. I have the formulas for the lines and then the steps that they need to take, as well as the examples that they have on this side, as well as the opposite side. So yes, I have 100 pages just like these, but that's not all. I also have, if multiplication is not your thing, I have my factor sheet. Remember we were just talking about factors? I have factors from 1 all the way to 200. This notebook is designed for those students from 7th grade all the way up to adults. So I have like some of the basic math concepts, like what are the most common words used in word problems. We have like the rules of integers, as well as looking at the equations of lines, slope-intercept form, point-slope form. We have some quadratic stuff here, as well as looking at, someone asked me about PEMDAS, and also the international way of finding your order of operation. That is here as well. Properties of exponents, a little bit of geometry with the Pythagorean theorem, SOHCAHTOA. Then we also have volume and surface area for some kids that are in young adults that are in geometry, the area of sectors, arc length. We actually did some work with central angles a couple days ago. And as you advance up, the unit circle. So a lot of these rules, and I'm working on the next one that's going to give us a little bit more of the supports, and then also a brain break section, just to give you something, a little brain break, So you have all of this listed here. I have it with 3 different covers, but the insides are exactly the same. Thank you. Thank you for whoever said proud of me. Thank you. How do I do a Google review? If you just go and Google my name, if you Google ACG Math Tutoring, and it'll say review. Or if I'm really smart, I would actually pull it up for you. Let me see. I could actually do that. That would be so smart of me, wouldn't it? Then I could be like, oh yeah, here you go. Just go here. Oh, what is this? Okay, I'm actually going to put the link in the chat so you guys can just copy and paste it. It will make your life a little bit easier as soon as I can find our TikTok. Okay, this is the link. Oops. That's the link if you want to copy and paste that to do a Google review for me. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you for saying it's so organized. Yes, because sometimes, like a lot of people, complimentary and supplementary, we did this lesson back on the 4th of April. So we have like our formulas, we have some of our steps. You have room to kind of put your information in, as well as if you like to do the grids, you can do the grids. But I prefer the dots. I'm probably going to have one that's going to give me more dots. The reason why I do the dots is for the graphing bit. It makes my graphs look so much cleaner. Like I can actually make dots and make points, so I can make my graphs a lot cleaner. And then you can have all this information and just have it nice and organized. You don't have to worry about packets. You just grab a book. And if your teacher gives you a paper for you to do, you can tape it on the grid side, and then you can summarize what's on that paper on the opposite side. This is how you study math. You study math through practice, like rewriting, writing down your notes, writing down what your formula is, instead of like, oh, let me just take notes in class one time and then that's it. Okay, so these are like all the things. Now, guess what? I'm almost finished with my Audrey notes. Like, I actually made copies of all my notes, and I'm actually going to put those for sale. So, hey, then you'll have my exact notes and then the videos or the lives that's connected to the notes, so you don't have to go searching all over the place anymore. So that's just there. All right, so do I have it on TikTok shop? I do not, because I don't want to put it as, because shipping is crazy. So what I do have, if you want to buy one or purchase one, they're on Amazon, but you can click on my face, on my profile, go to my website, and it's called the Ultimate Math Notebook. You'll actually see like a couple videos I have on my website about it, and you can click the link and it'll take you directly to one of the 3 notebooks. And I also have one for like your younger students. That's for 4th and 6th grade. That's this one. And the reason why I have it more as for grids, so it'll be easy for them to practice writing and aligning their numbers inside the book. So we have all of this. In addition, they still have the review sheets as well. So they have the resources. They still have the factor sheet. They also have things about fractions. And then we have the whole from decimals to percent to decimals to percent to fractions. All that stuff is here. Fraction operation. Then we got our place values, decimal operations on the other side, estimating and rounding. Someone asked me about that today. Here it is. Then we have the long division. Then we did a conversion chart. They still have the same with order of operations. And then area and perimeter. And then we also have the same with volume, and then the most used volume and surface areas that they use at that grade level, the same verbiage, and then an example of writing and solving equations, and then the same for the rules of integer. It's just a smaller book, and they also get a little bit of brain breaks, just for them. So this is for the 4th through 4th through 6th grade is this one, which kind of gives you that crazy outlook. And then you have the 7th through adults, which is this one, and there's another one. I'm still waiting for that to come in line. All right, very organized. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can get more of this. Thank you so much for the follows, guys. You can YouTube the linear and quadratic page with the graphs. Yeah, I think there is one, because if I have it in my notes, I know I definitely recorded it. Math is a lot of practice. Yes. Organization. Yes. Understanding concepts. Yes, Joe. All of that. All of that and then some, right? I'm meant to the page now. Okay. So how do I tutor online? Well, I do it through Zoom, and I have what's called OneNote. So basically what your child is currently working on, they send me a copy of it, and I put it on the OneNote, and whatever information that's missing, like say that they're missing fractions, okay? I'll put that on there. Say that they're missing understanding how to convert from a mixed number. I would do extra practice problems with that, okay? Which platform? I do it on Zoom. When I was in school, we were probably sitting next to each other in school. I was like, don't let my looks fool you. I'm 52 years old, soon to be 53. So I've been around for a minute. Or I was probably playing professional basketball. One of the two. The quadratic and linear graphs. Okay, let me see. Irish sunset. What? Let me see what we're talking about. Can you YouTube the linear and quadratic page? Yes, it should be like, it's probably 2 different videos, because I did do linear and I did do quadratics. So that should be on my YouTube page? Can you flip to them now? Oh, in my notebook? Okay. Oh. Okay, so what is the question that you need? What is the question that you would like to know about them? Like how to do them? I mean, if it's more so how to do them, you can get it when I release my notes. Yeah, you can get it when I release my notes. And that will be sometime this week, actually. Okay. I know, we're all trying to cut corners. I get it. Trust me. Because now it's to the point where I love you all dearly, but the struggle is real. The struggle is real. But, I have to pay my bills just like everyone else. So I'm using my knowledge to pay the bills. Okay? All right. So that's what I have for tonight. I wanted to do fractions tonight, and I did that. I think we got it. How do we feel about fractions now? Are we feeling better? Do we feel that we have somewhat overcome our anxiety about working with fractions? Yes or no? Put it in the chat. Thumbs up, thumbs down, a celebratory, maybe a meh face. I will take that as well. Okay, Michael saying yes. I know. Know for who the bell tolls. Okay. So, what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Let me see if I can do a little sneak peek. Because I think I did have the page situated for us. Unless something weird and wacky comes from one of my students, because my students are coming back, thank you God. Because holidays are not good for tutors. Okay, just want to let you know that. So the next thing that we're going to work on for tomorrow is going to be the distance, rate, and time word problems. Okay, that's going to be tomorrow evening. So we're going to be working on this lovely symbol. This is going to help you tremendously. Let me even zoom into that. Okay, this is going to help you. Okay, a lot of people probably have seen distance, rate, and time. Maybe people have seen distance, speed, or time. Some people might have seen it as, especially for science, you might seen it as mass, density, and volume. Okay, you might have seen it using the same process. This is going to help you. Yes, yes, because I've seen some people use it in physics as well. So you have like your mass, your density, and your volume. But I'm going to use it as distance, rate, and time, or distance, speed, or time. Okay? So that is going to be what we're going to be doing tomorrow evening. So tomorrow evening, yes, I think it's going to be 9:30. I think I'm going to just stick with 9:30. Because just in case that person doesn't come, yeah. But we'll see. Actually, no, I lied. I could go 8:30. 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. There we go. I know, I'm sorry for the fluctuation. I wish I could say, yes, 9:30 each and every day. But then when I get new students, I don't know. It gets crazy. So if you need assistance, you're thinking about getting a tutor, I do from 7th up. But if you have a child that is younger from 7th grade, I have friends that tutor younger students. So if you need somebody, trust me, I only work with people that are just as equally passionate as I am. Yeah, I don't work with slackers. No. Okay. Even if someone thinks that they're a slacker and I'm like, no, I see your true worth. I don't work with slackers. Okay. So if you do need somebody, please do not hesitate to message me. I would love for you guys to follow me. A lot of you guys are doing that. Thank you so much for the likes. I greatly appreciate it. And I appreciate that like 152 of you are in here trying to learn a little bit of math, which is great. So again, we worked on fractions with a common denominator, okay? We need to have a common denominator before we do anything. And then when you add your fractions, you don't do anything to the denominator, okay? You just carry it over. Your operation that you're going to do, if it's adding or subtracting, you just add or subtract the numerators, okay? Keep the denominator. Trust me, when I say this, they will have this be a 42. They will have a 34 over 42 as one of the options of the test questions. Okay, doesn't matter which test. As long as it's a standardized test, they will use that as one of the options. Same thing over here. This would have been 48. This would be 5 48s. Trust me, one of those will be an option, but it's not. You don't do anything with the denominators. All right. Yes, 8:30. Yes, 8:30 tomorrow. I will be here. We're going to be working on distance, rate, and time word problems. All right. So if you do not like word problems, this is definitely going to be in AccuPlacer. It's definitely in your GED, SAT, ACT. Where else? ASVAT. Definitely ASVAT, because I had a couple students that took their ASVAT and they said that was in there. Okay, so if you know of anyone, maybe it's yourself, make sure you tune in tomorrow at 8:30. All right, guys, love you dearly. Thank you so much for your time and attention with me. If anything, just check out my friend Lynette. I know she's going to probably either go live now or she's going to be going live a little bit later, just to learn how to do the abacus. I was about to say ASVAT. How to do the abacus. How to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. And she's got all these great resources. And she actually has a book on the TikTok shop. You should check it out. Okay, you should definitely check it out. Oh, you are still here. Yay! All right, guys. Continue to be awesome. Continue to be awesome. Continue to grow. Continue to want to learn. Don't let everyone assume that they know who you are. Let your light shine for you. Okay? Don't let anyone try to dim that light. And don't forget, you are loved. And I will see you guys tomorrow. All right? Take care. Bye now.